Passionators! Hey y'all, how you doing? Listen, your girl got caught in the rain yesterday and found out the hard way that even though she's a size medium, she's still too big to run between raindrops. So this is my post. I just let it dry where it was hair. So yeah, if it goes everywhere, it's just gonna be everywhere. It's that kind of day today. But as you can tell, the sun is out to greet me and meet me and bake me and shake me and all of that. I can't get this. Yeah, it was. I'm having a struggling hair day today. Hi everybody, thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Hi Brad, all the way from the East Coast. Oh my goodness, I feel so special. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi Sarah. Hi Perry. I feel like this show that I used to watch when I was a kid. When I get to call out everybody's name. So let me know where you're calling. I've clearly been doing this too long. Let me know where you're watching from and all that good stuff. And thanks for paying attention. Hey, Vanessa's in the house. I remember it well. Oh, P, you just gonna make me put you on payroll, huh? Listen, you know I like to ear hustle, and yeah, I have been, and that's how I got the name for this video, because it's a topic that just won't go away. It's really, really basic, but once again, so are most of the things that trip people up the most. What's going on, Motown? Yes. Tell me where you're from. I always like to see that because you all are so generous and you share me with people that I don't know and who may have never showed up in my comment feed or my news feed before. So I'm not aware of who they are or where they're from, and I just like to know where I'm reaching out and touching people. So thanks. Thanks for letting me know where from. Hey, Stella from Tennessee. And Avery from Gary, right up the road. Thanks for dropping by and tuning in. I hope you're enjoying your midday Friday. I hope your weather is as nice as mine. It's really nice out here. But yeah, oh, hearts and thumbs up. Thank you. I love that already. That just makes me feel so nice. Thank you. Thank you. But we are going to talk about this because people are so often looking for ways to keep their power in a relationship. And you hear people a lot of times talking about how they gave their power away, which is actually quite true in a lot of cases. Most of the time, I'm sorry, I'm plugging in my battery pack because I want to be here for a while and I want the signal to stay with me. Is that working for you guys? Can you hear me well? Can you see? Is everything okay? Just drop me a comment and let me know. I'm going to keep going until you tell me otherwise, okay? Hi, Evelyn. Thanks for stopping in. So, a lot of people measure power in a relationship by how well they get their mate to do what it is they want them to do. That's pretty much the extent of it. And unfortunately, they get a lot of reinforcement for that, particularly the way media sensationalizes those kinds of things. It's profitable now to promote ideas, to promote attitudes, to promote ways of thinking and being that are completely anti-relationship. But because they make good drama, they make great chaos. Great sound quality, but yeah, you can see them jumping out of my ears. Anyway, as I was saying, it is reinforced over and over again just by what we call entertainment. Here's the problem with that. Entertainment is never just entertainment. Entertainment is often referred to as programming, and that's not an accident. The fact is, a lot of what we see, a lot of what we ingest, a lot of what we digest in the name of entertainment often goes beyond our logic. It goes beyond our conscious. It goes beyond our reasoning. And it seeps into our subconscious, which really wouldn't be a bad thing if. And here's the if. Research has shown us that over 90% of what we do, what we actually do from day to day, the behaviors that we have, are not determined logically. They're not determined consciously. They're not determined in that area of our brain that we turn on when people ask us a question. It's determined in our subconscious, meaning sub means under or below, beneath, behind. It means in a place that you are not conscious of, meaning you're not aware of it, meaning it's happening in a level of your mind and your mentality that you are not in conscious control of. It's being programmed beyond your ability to say yes or no. It's bypassing all of that, all of it. That's why when, for example, if you wear headphones and you listen to your music that way, certain types of music, particularly most popular music, is recorded with what's commonly referred to as a binaural beat. And those beats they're transmitted at a frequency that bypasses your logic. So it doesn't stop in your area of your brain where you actually get to think about it and chew on it and turn it over and say to yourself, yeah, that's going to work for me. No, that's not. That's not how it happens. It goes in as an image. That's why images are so important. That's why entertainers spend so much time and money investing in their images. That's why media is shaped and formed largely on images, because they know that those images will have you behaving in accordance with whatever they're demonstrating to you, even if it doesn't make logical sense to you. Advertisers do not sink millions upon multiplied millions of dollars into the study of human buying psychology because it doesn't work. All those images that you think are haphazard and random and just sort of out of nowhere and, ooh, they picked it because it looked pretty. No, they picked it because they knew it would affect you in a way that would make you buy for whatever reason. They don't care why you buy. They just care that you open your wallet and start spending your money. So if they can do that by making you believe that you are somehow deficient, insufficient, that you are not enough, that you yourself need fixing, and they have whatever magic is missing from your life, then they will manipulate you by the usage of their images, by the pace of the cadence of the words that they've chosen, by the music in the background, by the colors that you see, by all of those things that register in your subconscious that bypass your consciousness. How do you know they bypass your consciousness? Because you're not fully aware of it. You see it, but you don't see it. Something as simple as trademarks, symbols, Coca-Cola, famous label, right? But when Coke was doing an experiment and they changed their label from red to blue and it still said Coca-Cola, people didn't recognize it as Coca-Cola. They lost sales doing that experiment because people register subconsciously the things that make them buy. Why do I bring this up? Because relationships are a type of buying transaction. We are marketing to each other the concept, the idea that we can build a life together that is more viable than the lives that we could have alone. That's the whole point. That's the marketing. That's why we invest so much time and energy and effort into creating them and maintaining them and all of that, right? The problem is, well, one of the problems is that we invest so much effort into trying to be what people have said they wanted that we end up tripping ourselves in the process. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you ask people what they want in a partner, they usually have a laundry list of stuff. I want somebody honest. I want somebody trustworthy. I want somebody I can depend on. I don't like drama. I hate chaos. I don't like short. I don't like tall. I don't like fat. I don't like thin. I don't like educated. I don't like uneducated. I don't like. And I gotta have. And I could never deal with. And if somebody did that to me, I'm out. And all of that stuff that you hear people saying when they start talking about relationships, and it sounds good. It sounds really good. Makes all the sense in the world. Why wouldn't a fully formed adult want somebody to be honest with them? Why wouldn't somebody want a drama-free relationship? Why wouldn't they? And yet we see every single day drama queens and chaos kings who stay in relationships all the time. And they've usually got a partner who is totally devoted to trying to make them happy. That's what's called textbook codependency. But that's another video for another time. My point is, what people say is what sounds good, but is what people do that actually lets you know who they are. Because what they do is what they're going to live, and consequently what you're going to be living with. You're not going to be living with what they feel. You're not going to be living with what they think. You're not going to be living with what sounds good. You're going to be living with what they do. When somebody goes off, here's an example. I was reading, someone was talking about what he likes to see, or what he prefers in a woman. And he had a relationship history that was pretty much in direct contradiction with what he said he wanted in a woman. And his reasoning for that was because women are crazy, and because he was raised by a single mother, and because she had chaotic relationships, and because he had never seen a viable relationship before. And how do you expect me to know how to be in a viable relationship when I've never seen it happen? That was pretty much the gist of it. And there's a lot of that going around, and it's not gender specific. It's an idea that gets battered around a lot, because we do have generations of people who were raised by single parents, be they male or female. I only point that out because when you're raised in an environment like that, you don't get to see relationship dynamics as they happen on a day-to-day basis. You don't get to see that. And that is a definite disadvantage, particularly in a viable relationship. When you get to see a healthy, happy relationship dynamic on a day-to-day basis, it gives you a much different idea about how to be in a relationship yourself. That's a huge advantage. And I've even noticed that personally among the people that I know who have come from long-term viable relationships compared to those who haven't. Their relationship histories are just very different. Not because they're really that different as people, but because they make different choices. They look for different things. They focus on different areas. In this society, we have a habit of focusing on stuff It has no real bearing on how relationships actually play out. We think because we have good times dating each other, it'd be a good idea to get married. How's that working for you? How's that working for you? Just saying. That 50% divorce rate for first marriages and 65% for second marriages pretty much says it all. One side of the fence is talking about how women want marriage or women desire marriage and women are the ones who are geared toward marriage and it's the gold standard of relationships for women and that's all they really want from men and there's really no benefit for men, and men on the other hand are indoctrinated in an entirely different way to seek pleasure and avoid pain. It's pretty much how this society is set up. And that is why we have the relationship statistics that we have. Because both of those ideas are anti-relationship building. And when we make decisions and choices based on those ideas, we mess up our relationships. Usually, repeatedly. Because we've been indoctrinated. We've been fed this idea that we never really stop to consider if it's actually functional. Will it actually work? If I choose this big button to smile, if I take this person who jumped through any hoop I put up in front of them, if I say I want it this way and they'll bend over backwards to give it to me, if they open their wallet every time I sneeze, if they will do whatever it takes to make me happy, is that a functional relationship model? Unfortunately, most people believe it is, and so they bend themselves into pretzels trying to be what they think their partners want them to be. Trying to make them happy, trying to do what they want them to do the way they want them to do it. And then after 10 or 20 years of doing exactly that, I get the phone call that goes, I can't do anything right enough. No matter what I do, no matter how many times I do it, no matter if I do it exactly the way they said to do it, it's not right enough. All I get is complaints about what I didn't do right. And I never get acknowledged for what I did do right. Well, that's largely because your satisfaction in your relationship is based upon mutual manipulation. They're trying to manipulate to get what they want from you, and you're trying to manipulate to make them feel the way you want them to feel about you. Just gonna let that one sit for a minute. When you get caught up in doing things in order to make someone love you, in order to make someone want you, in order to make someone stay with you, not abandon you, not mistreat you or mistrust you, for whatever reason you go into it, no matter how altruistic that reason is, no matter how good it is, no matter how honorable your intention, when you go into any situation attempting to control the outcome, that outcome being how they feel about you, how they see you, you set yourself up for failure in two ways. One of which is, it's impossible. It's impossible to dictate how someone else is going to feel about you. It's impossible to control how someone else values you. It is impossible to draw lines around what they do in response to you. That's one way. The other way is you are always putting how you see yourself in somebody else's hands. If they're mad at you, you're mad at you. If they don't see you as valuable, then you don't see yourself as valuable. If they think you're not worth what you're asking for, then you start to question yourself. If they don't agree with you, if you want to say no, they will question you. They will plant seeds of doubt into your mind until you end up saying yes when you know you wanted to say no. They put you in positions where you believe that you have to defend your position. You have to justify how you feel. You have to corroborate whatever it is that you want to do. And as long as that's the case, as long as that is the dynamic of your relationship, you will perpetually and forever be miserable, even when everything on the surface looks like it's going just fine. When people ask me, how in the world do you end up in divorce court after 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus years of marriage? What could you possibly see after all that time that you haven't seen over and over again before? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. You've just seen it so many times that there was one time too many that you just couldn't stand to look at it anymore. And you decided that you weren't going to spend the next 20 or next 30 or 40 or 50 years looking at that thing. You looked across the pillow at who was lying next to you, and you decided in that moment, on a regular Tuesday morning when nothing unusual was happening, you looked across your pillow and said to yourself, after all this time, is this what I really want to spend the rest of my life doing? And your answer to that was no. That's how it happens. How do you prevent it from happening? Well, there are a couple of things that you can do. But understand that just asking the question, what can you do to prevent it from happening? What do you do? What do you do to make them stay? What do you do to make them love you? What do you do to make them miss you if they're already gone away? What do you do? You do absolutely everything except focus on why they left, or what you can do to bring them back, or whether or not they're missing you, or what they're doing in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Because the minute you focus on them, you have absolutely destroyed any and every chance you have of making a viable relationship with them or with anybody else. The key to a long-lasting, happy, healthy, viable relationship is to make a relationship that works for you. Stop bending yourself into pretzels, trying to make your mate happy, and put that same effort into making yourself happy. Why? Because only happy people can have happy relationships. I'm going to say that again. Only happy people can have happy relationships. You do not get into relationships to be happy. You have to be happy to get into a relationship. Relationships do not change you. Having a good relationship is like having money. Having money doesn't change you, it only magnifies who you already are. Are you still with me? Relationships are not places that you go to put down your menu of what you think you want from this other person. Relationships are an exercise in personal development. They are the ultimate classroom to learn about you through the eyes of another person. That is what relationships come to do. That's what they all come to do. Intimate relationships just do it in a way that's different from all other relationships because of the intimate aspect. But trust and believe every relationship you have, ever have had, or ever will have has come to teach you yourself in a way that you never would have learned it otherwise. It's not there to be your cosmic Santa Claus. It's not there to give you what you want like you want it the way you want it. Now, in the best situations, what happens is two people who are already happy get together and they share their happiness with each other. Two people with complementary strengths and weaknesses. Complementary strengths and weaknesses. So they can cover each other's blind spots. They can reinforce each other where they're weak. And they can be even stronger where they're strong together. Two happy people get together and they share their happiness with each other. They don't get into the relationship to be happy. They don't get into the relationship expecting their mates to make them happy. They come together to share happiness. And when it works well, they find levels of fulfillment together that they could never accomplish alone. And that's what you see in those long-term couples who are still chinning and grinning at each other after 20 years and all kinds of hell and multiple babies and in-laws and outlaws and everything, every adverse situation that life throws at all of us, single or not. They don't survive because they don't face all that stuff. They survive it because they faced it in a way that actually brought them closer together instead of dragging them further apart. Nobody's immune to hard times. Nobody. But maintaining your power in a relationship is how you get through those hard times. When you can love without attachment, that's what makes love loving. As long as you're trying to control it, it's not love, it's manipulation. As long as you're trying to control it, it isn't love, it's manipulation. As long as you're trying to control it, it isn't love, it's manipulation. I often use this comparison. It's like a butterfly. It's like having a butterfly. It's like wanting a butterfly. It's like seeing a butterfly that you think is absolutely beautiful. And they are. And the butterfly comes to visit you. And you put your hand out. And the butterfly rests on the palm of your hand. And you look at it. You see it. It has no idea how beautiful it is to you. And nonetheless, there it is in all its beauty. Right there in the palm of your hand. And it looks like it's about to fly away, and you really don't want it to fly away. You want it to stay there and be beautiful for you. You want it to stay there and be beautiful with you. You want the joy of its presence in your life. And you really don't want it to fly away. But you see its wings flapping as if it's about to go. And so you close your hand to keep the butterfly. But now, you have a problem. Because if you let go of the control, the butterfly may fly away. But if you don't get to see its beauty. You lose the joy of having it in your life. And all you have is the knowledge that is sitting there in the palm of your hand. Not even free to be what it is. Not even able to be what you wanted in your life in the first place. Because it's in the closed palm of your hand. And the longer you keep your hand closed, the faster the butterfly dies. You're not thinking about that though. You just don't want the butterfly to go away. And so you finally get brave enough to open your hand. And there's the butterfly. Crushed. The beauty that brought you joy isn't there anymore. And the butterfly must be wondering, what happened? I came to you, I trusted you, I visited with you. I just wanted to be with you. And you crush me. That's what we do when we try to control the love and response we get from people. That's what we do. The love is the butterfly. And what we do to try to control it is closing our hands. But the only way to keep a butterfly with you, the only way to keep its beauty, to know its beauty, to share its joy, is to keep your hand open. Yes, it may leave. Most things do at some point. Everything in your life is temporary anyway. You are your only permanent relationship. You are your only permanent relationship. One more time for the people that just tuned in. You are your only permanent relationship. And so everyone who comes into your life to love you is passing through some short-term temporary, some long-term temporary, most are somewhere in between. So what does that mean for you? Does that mean that you now close off your heart because nobody's coming to stay? Or do you allow your heart to do what it's actually built to do, which is to restore and rejuvenate and refresh itself to love again and again and again and again? Your heart is made to love again. After loss, after people passing through, because that's what they come to do anyway. Your heart knows how to do that. It's your head that's getting in the way. And if you don't allow them to work in sync, you will continue to crush your butterflies until you learn to love with your hand open. You will never have the power in your relationship. It's only when you're willing to let go that anything is actually free to stay. If they are not free to leave you, they cannot be free to love you. Love is not about manipulation. Love is about the freedom to open your heart to its fullest and allow it to love to its entire capacity for however long it's there to stay. That's how love works. Love is opening your heart, not closing your hand. Love is enjoying the beauty. Love is enjoying the presence while it's present. Stop living your present in past tense. Stop living your right now based on fear you had yesterday or last year or when you were a child. Stop crushing the butterfly and allow it to stay for as long as it came to stay with you. And when it leaves, keep your hand open for the next butterfly. You have no idea the ways that love can come to you and stay with you and fill you and lift you and expand you and grow you unless you're willing to allow it to. You have these set ideas about the ways love can come to you, and love is limitless and will come to visit you in many ways you have never even imagined. But you have to be open to allow it. Your hand has to be open. Stop crushing the butterfly. The true power in a relationship is the ability to let go. The ability to love fully and be ready to let go. To love fully and not try to control it. To love fully in the moments that you do have, instead of in fear of the moments you may not have. The power in a relationship is in the ability to love, not the capacity to manipulate. When your heart is open and you love full throttle, love completely and fully in the moment that is right in front of you, refusing your past, it is a memory. Refusing the future, it is a mystery. Loving in the now that you have, because it's all that you have. It's all that you ever will have. It's all that you ever have had. Everything else is an illusion. Now is all you have. What will you do with it? Will you love in it? Or will you refuse to love in it? Will you love or will you manipulate? Will you keep your hand open and just watch? Just watch. Just see how the love unfolds in your life. Just see how it makes you a person that you never knew existed. Just see how it grows you and lifts you and loves you. Just see what it teaches you about you. Just allow it to do what it came to do. And stop trying to dictate how you think it should look. The power in a relationship is in your heart. It's not in your head. The power is in your capacity to love and your willingness to allow it to happen. When you get into control and manipulation and dictation and all of that, trying to make it look the way you think it should look, or trying to make it be what you thought it was supposed to be, or trying to make it feel like what you're accustomed to feeling, you'll lose every time. Trying to be what people tell you they want you to be is a losing proposition. If you haven't figured that out already, just try it. Try it and see how well it works for you. See how long it works for you. See how much happiness it brings to you. Try it. If you think that being what your mate expects you to be, wants you to be, says that they need for you to be, try it. When you get to the point when you're ready to be exactly who you are and embrace all of who that is, to be totally honest with yourself, about yourself, for yourself, when you get there, that's when you'll know you have the power. Because it's only from that place that you are unstoppable. You are unbreakable. And you are completely not dependent on the outcome of your relationship. Whether the relationship lasts longer or it doesn't determine whether you are a valuable person. Doesn't determine what your destiny is. Doesn't determine the legacy you're going to leave. All of those things are determined by you and only you. Not by your parents, not by your past, not by your children, not even them, and not by your spouse. All of that is internal. And when you take control of what is going on with you, about you, between your ears, that is when you have the power. That's when you can stand in a place of assurance. So even when your mate isn't happy with you, even when they don't like what you did, even when they got comfortable with who you used to be and you decided to change who that is and they don't like it, it's okay with you. Not because you don't want them to like it, but because you know that whether they like it or not, it's authentically who you are, and that's who you came to be in every relationship, in any relationship. You have to be who you came to be if you're ever going to be happy anywhere with anyone. And that's not about them. It's not about what they do or what they didn't do or what they said or what they didn't say. That is entirely about you. The power in a relationship is you and nobody else. It's you. And when you embrace that, you'll learn to allow the people who are in closest sync with who that person is to come and share your joy with you, to come and share your happiness with you, to come and share your life with you and your love with you and your fears with you and your dreams with you and your destiny with you. all starts with you. So thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for staying. Thank you for letting me take up so much of your time today. And if you have anything else that you'd like me to address, please leave a comment. Please feel free to share this video with anyone that you think might find it useful. I'm trying to reach as many people as I can, and I need your help to do that. You've been very generous so far, so thank you. And yeah, maybe next time I'll be in a place that's better lit, that's not nearly as windy, and I might be wearing real hair. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said it that way, huh? It's like, it's my real hair, but the rain got the best of me yesterday. So I'm still wearing my ponytail. I haven't flat ironed it yet. I'm getting to it. Maybe next time I'll be back and I'll actually be wearing makeup and stuff. But for right now, I just wanted to leave this message with you while I had the opportunity. And I hope it was useful. I'll be back. Not sure when, but when I am, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Okay? Thanks again for stopping by. It's been a passionate day. Make it a passionate weekend. And I will talk to you soon. I love you totally. Bye-bye.